What's up, all you Ghostbusting loving dudes and dudettes? ToyShiz here, and I'm back again to give you guys another fresh look. And today we are totally checking out the brand new Hasbro 6-inch series. We'll get to that in just a second. The Plasma Series Ghostbusters line 7-figure set. The 7th figure being the Vinz Clortho Build-A-Ghost figure. Really lovely artwork on the side of the box. Very minimalistic. Shout out to Ty Matson. He is the designer of those caricatures. Excellent job. And I love how the box is displayed. Each of the last names, you have also Gozer, Venkman, Spangler, things like that. Very much the Ghostbusters uniform. Lots of little intricacy with the sewing, the patches, things like that. Really nice window box. Shows everything inside. You got some schematics here and there on the sides of the box. And clearly, of course, Ghostbusters. If you want these, grab these now. They are slated to be kind of pushed until next year when Ghostbusters Afterlife does come out. You get a little bit of a bio on each of the ones. You get the figures in the line, and of course you get to see the Build-A-Figure, which is Vinz Clortho. Very, very cool. And of course, we will be taking an in-depth look. Once you pull the tray out with the figures, really nice red and black schematics of each of the Ghostbusters gear. You got the new Trona Blaster, the unlicensed nuclear accelerator. Ecto-1, I think, is my favorite. I would love to have seen an Ecto-1. Let's see, fingers crossed. But it's just really cool. Nice little added touch to the packaging, and this totally caught me by surprise. The sun hit it just perfectly. This looks like ectoplasm, ecto-goop for the actual tray that each figure comes in. Gives a little highlight to each of the figures. So, got a lot to say. Let's just jump right into it. This is a brand new Hasbro 6-inch Ghostbusters Plasma Series. And of course, here they are, all out of the packaging with the Terror Dog all built up. I'm going to say this right off the bat. If you've never owned any Ghostbuster figures, if they're an introduction to Ghostbusters, then you're definitely going to love this set. It is an actual perfect set of Ghostbuster figures, the characters. They nailed it. I do have thoughts about that. I will get to that later in the review and such. But for the most part, I think they captured the essence of what the Ghostbusters is. Not necessarily playing off of Afterlife. Perhaps we will see something to this degree with Afterlife and all the characters. The one thing I'm not set on is the Plasma Series name. Is it Ectoplasm? Plasma? Never really said plasma. Maybe it's something in Afterlife, but we'll find out soon, I am sure, next year, unfortunately. Let's talk about Dana Barrett first. I think that for the most part, it looks like Sigourney Weaver. I like that they put the red eyes in there for Zool. Nice hair, nicely painted dress. I'll give them the thing. All the figures nicely painted, so we'll get that right out the door right now. Nice articulation. You do have to kind of bust up the costume a little bit because she does have that part of the dress where it slinks off to the side. Great articulation. I think that you can get her in that pose. You know, she's about to become the Terror Dog. Something to that degree. Not a whole lot going on. I mean, Dana is kind of a boring figure for an action figure. Let's just say that. But the articulation is weird, especially around her hands. You know, it kind of gives her like that android kind of thing, or it doesn't really match up. She is the tallest of the 7 figures. She's taller than Murray. Not my favorite. She's kind of like of the wave. But in contrast to that, I do like the Gozer figure. I think that this came out good. Does she look like Slavica Jovan? Vaguely. We'll just say that. It could have been a little bit better. The eyes are too dark. I think if she had brighter red eyes that captured the flat top, they nailed that. Her bubbly Kirby Crackle dress needed a little bit more detail to it in terms of matching it with paint. It's a little bit of a dull figure, I will say that. Good articulation, though. She's astounding in that, and her wrists to their hands fit a little bit better, but I think some of the best part is when someone asks you if you're a god, Ray, then you just say you're a god, because they include these extra lightning bolt, doing her best Emperor Palpatine sort of impression, and I like that they put these in there. It really adds to the figure. It adds to the character, really captures Gozer, gives her something to do. You can have her battling the 4 Ghostbusters. So in that case, much better than Dana, gives a little bit more oomph, and I like this figure a lot. Same thing with Bill Murray's Peter Venkman. I think that the face sculpt is there. It's a little bit big. He's got a big head to him, so good luck fitting the ecto goggles on him from Ray. You got Venkman right there on his jumpsuit. It's a little bit more of a simplified jumpsuit for all of the Busters. He does come with the Ghost Trap. The Ghost Trap is painted nice, done nice, really cool. Doesn't have the foot pedal. It has a little spot where you think your foot pedal could hook in there. Maybe that'll be something later. And we'll talk about the Proton Pack in just a second, but I like that they gave him the untucked boots. That's a characteristic of Peter, so I'm glad that they kept that in there. The Proton packs are gorgeous. They absolutely nailed it. Fantastic paint. I like how the Trona Blaster fits in. I don't like the wire. We'll talk about that in a second. Each Proton pack for each individual Ghostbuster is a tad different because the little red dot towards the bottom of the Proton pack is in a different position. So if you look at it closely, one's got an upper right, lower left, and yada yada. So each one kind of pertains to each character, or they just mispainted. I don't know. But in either case, I like that that's just a little minute detail, kind of differentiates each of the packs. Are the red perfect on each one? No, it's a little bit sloppy here and there. He does hold the ghost trap well. All the figures, you can intersplice all of the accessories minus the goggles. I'll show you that in just a second. He's got good articulation. Getting him into a position where he's going to throw the trap, it's okay. It does the trick. Really cool though, if you want to do this, you can actually fit the trap over his walkie-talkie on his belt, so it kind of has a little bit of a weapon storage sort of deal. It's not meant to do this, but it does look good. I definitely like it. So overall, it's a good Peter Venkman, nice Bill Murray. It hits the spot for him. Really with the Ernie Hudson, I think that it's Ernie Hudson and it's a little bit Winston, but it's a little bit off. I think it's the facial expression, it's a little bit weird looking. The Zedmore on the patch got a little sloppy here and there. Same exact body type as, say, Peter, Winston, Egon for the most part. We'll get to Ray in just a second. Something on mine I'll talk about. He's the only Buster that comes with a Trona Blast. And that's where, if you've collected Ghostbuster figures as long as I have, that's a missing thing for all these figures in this set. All the Busters should have had one. You can't even cross the streams. You're fighting Gozer. You can't cross the streams anymore, but it does hook on to his wand. You could put it on any of the other Ghostbuster figures, so just keep that in mind. He does look good. I think it's a great particle effect, really nicely done, captures the look of Ghostbusters, and overall, it's not a bad-looking Winston. As opposed to Egon Spengler, I think they nailed Harold Ramis here. I think this is the one they really nailed the most. I love that he has sculpted on glasses, the Mattel one. Always drove me crazy with that, and Spengler is applied nicely as well. Again, same exact body type, and he comes with the PKE meter. Of course, Egon would come with the PKE meter. What a better accessory for the guy. He holds it well. I wish it was a little bit articulated. I wish you could move the little arms in and out. That would have been really cool, when a ghost shows up, stuff like that. But he just looks good. I think Egon, in terms of everything, he just looks the most complete out of the Ghostbusters, just in terms of his accessories, his Proton pack, the look. They nailed it. It's one of the best Egons in my collection. And for the most part, they got Dan Aykroyd, Ray stances pretty well. I think that this is, again, one of the better looking Ray stance, Dan Aykroyd figures. The face is not like, it's kind of like Ernie Hudson's where it's there, but it's just a little bit off. He does come with his ecto goggles. I like that. His belt is different. Comes with a little hook. As you can see, the other Busters have the hole where you could fit in the PKE meter, but I like that it's a little bit different. A little bit of different belt, at least for Ray, we'll just say that, and for Egon it works, but I would like to have seen more accessories then for Zedmore and, of course, Venkman. The ecto goggles fit well. It's a little bit snug. I could see the plastic beginning to stress over time, so if I were you, and this is what I do, I'm just going to keep the ecto goggles securely on his belt, and I think that looks better as well. Here's the weird thing. Ray, on my sculpt, has a little bit of a gut. Let me know if your guys' thing has the same deal. I cannot buckle his Proton pack. I've tried heating it up. As you can see, it's the Egon and Winston Ray seem to be a little bit thinner, or it's just how maybe it's a mis-sculpt on the plastic, something like that, but you cannot buckle the Proton pack on my Ray. And as I said, the ecto goggles fit the best on Winston. So that's a nice little, thing for Winston to do, as opposed to giving the Trona Blast. Good luck fitting it on Spengler, and Peter's head is way too big. Which then brings us to the Build-A-Figure, which is Vinz Clortho, which is an interesting way to get Louis Tully involved. So if you have Dana Barrett, at least you got the dog form of Louis. And this guy looks really great. I love the head sculpt on him. I love the paint, the mouth is articulated, the arms articulated, really nice haunches. Good articulation overall. I wish that they would have included different horns, so you could have swapped out the horns, or you can get two sets and you got two terror dogs. But again, the paint is good. He's got a really nice sheen to him, nice silver. He's a little bit light in the torso, but the head and the arms really make this more of a heavy, heftier figure. He might be a little bit too big for the actual character design, but he stands up and he looks really menacing and it's really cool to pair him up with Gozer. And again, if you had 2 Terror Dogs, this would have been a total knockout, or just a way to get 2 Terror Dogs and sell 2 sets of figures. I would have probably done that. But the other thing is, as opposed to the Diamond Select Terror Dog, which is the real Ghostbusters variant that came out towards SDCC last year, if you put these 2 together, they do actually look nice. It's 2 different Terror Dogs, so to speak, and I like that. But when you put all the Ghostbusters together, again, this is nice. This is a nice set that really just drives home the nostalgia, and you can fit the Mattel rookie in there as well. He does line up fairly well. The old Mattel figures fit here and there. I think that they nailed it on Hasbro's part. The Mattel ones were great. These are more of like a video game look for these characters now, as opposed to Hasbro's being a little bit more movie accurate. They do have nice subtle differences. Each one is good in their own respects. So while I still love the Mattel ones, I do really like these new Hasbro ones as well. So I'm all over the place in terms of Ghostbusters, of course. But the main seller for me, the thing that really nails it, is that the packs are removable and they look great. That's an awesome aspect. If you got the old Kenner Reel Ghostbusters Ecto 1, no, they'll fit. You can fudge them a little bit. They do look good if you wanted to display, you know, each of the characters for the most part. If the Ecto 1, or if they do an Ecto 1, that would be fantastic. And the new 5-inch Ghostbuster figures that are being pushed back now look great. They're kind of done in that Kenner style. And if you go and check out Geek Dad Life on YouTube, he got a set, he reviewed him. Please go check him out. Great guy, really does a great job, has all kinds of crazy Ghostbuster videos, so I definitely recommend him. In terms of the scale, they are 5.5 inches apiece. They are not 6-inch figures. They are smaller than Legends. They're smaller than Power Rangers, so they're tinier 6-inch scale, I will say that, but they fit with a multitude of past Kenner Ghostbuster figures, Stay Puft Marshmallow Man, Walmart, Real Ghostbusters candy thing, what have you. Let me say this, for finishing up this review, I think this is an excellent first introduction to Ghostbuster figures. If you've never collected Ghostbusters, you are in luck. This is what oh my God, can you imagine this coming out in the 80s? All 7 of these figures, it would have been magical. The likenesses are pretty spot on for the most part. The accessories are great. They're fun. The packs are removable. The articulation is fantastic. Now here's what in terms of someone who has collected Ghostbusters for years and years and years, this is not what I want to see. I wanted to see the overall Ghostbusters world. I would have liked to have seen what they did with Power Rangers, where you pick Ghostbusters, Ghostbusters 2, Real Ghostbusters Extreme, the IDW comics, and start integrating characters we've never seen before. I don't create the figures. That's just what I would have liked to have seen, but I can always appreciate a good set of figures. This is a knockout. It's a home run. What I would have loved to have seen is Slimer replace Dana Barrett and the Build-A-Figure be Stay Puft. That would have been a more complete Ghostbusters movie 1 line. That would have been amazing. And then have an SDCC exclusive where you got Dana and Lewis and the 2 Terror Dogs, a 4-pack, something to that degree. I think that would have just been astounding. You would have nailed all of the characters. One of the biggest missed opportunities is not giving all the Ghostbusters a new Trona Blast. That's really weird that they don't have that. You can't cross the streams. That's a huge thing. Even when fighting Gozer, that would have been awesome to have. I don't like the cord that attaches from the Proston pack to the new Trona Blaster. That's going to stress and crack over time, I guarantee you. And the big thing, the main thing, is why in the world is it called the Plasma Series? If it's from Afterlife, fine, that's one thing, but it's the weirdest thing. Why not the Ecto series? That would have been great. But I am curious to know what you guys think about these figures. Do you have them? Do you need to get them? Comment below, let me know. Let's talk everything Ghostbusters. Sincerest hope is that they continue making more of these. I want Wave 2. I want more Ghostbuster figures, and I cannot wait to see Afterlife. So, I'm going to leave you guys with that. As always, drink some great coffee, eat some great food, but most importantly, remember, wait a minute, are we going to be getting the Jason and the Ivan head sculpts Ghostbusters as well? We need those for our collections. And when you do, let me know what you found. I'll talk to you guys soon. Adios.